Hello and welcome back to Everything Boats with Captain Franklin here, where we discuss boats and boating, from maintenance and repairs to seamanship and safety, as well as everything in between. This podcast is a companion to my YouTube channel of the same name, so if you like and find it useful, be sure to subscribe and please check out my YouTube channel as well, where you'll find hundreds of informative videos on pretty much every boating topic imaginable. For today's topic, we're going to be covering your holding tank, right? The proper way to maintain your holding tank, how to clean it properly, and also, if you have to do it, how to shock your holding tank. So if you hang around boats long enough, invariably you're going to hear the term, somebody mentions that I had to shock my holding tank. Well, if you're not familiar with it, you're likely to find it an odd statement, and you're going to be kind of wondering, well, is my holding tank in need of a shocking also? So today we're going to be discussing the lowdown on how to properly clean your holding tank and avoid all this electrifying talk. The phrase shock your holding tank is probably a reference to the practice of shocking a swimming pool by adding extra chemicals to oxidize and sanitize the water. Taken in this context, shock is not really the best choice of words when it comes to holding tank. Cleaning the holding tank is more accurate, as the ultimate goal of shocking the tank is, or should be, to facilitate a more thorough cleaning of the tank when you pump it out, rather than to deodorize its contents. This is particularly true with regards to buildup and deposits. It's also important to differentiate between shocking a holding tank and managing it by regularly adding small amounts of chemicals to help with odor control and promote a healthier holding tank environment. Solid waste is comprised primarily of water, meaning it will readily dissolve in the water of your holding tank. Most holding tank buildup will be from toilet paper and, if salt water is used for flushing, calcium carbonate scale, which is generated when uric acid mixes with salt water. If this buildup is soft or spongy, then shocking the tank in preparation for cleaning it will have a much better chance of success. If the buildup is solidified or completely hard, shocking the holding tank may be of some benefit. However, in many cases, the only real options at this point are either to live with the buildup, manually clean the tank, or in extreme cases, replace it. Many people swear by or swear at not putting toilet paper in the tank, living by that well-known creed of nothing goes in the toilet unless it has passed through your body first. Some try to mitigate this issue by purchasing toilet paper specifically designed for marine heads and holding tanks. But to be honest, I've never seen any definitive proof that this actually makes any difference. So let's talk a little bit about best cleaning practices. When it comes to reducing holding tank scale and buildup, the best practice is to clean and treat the tank regularly to avoid accumulation in the first place. If smell is an issue, check out my video, 10 Tips for a Better Smelling Head, and I'll post a link to that below. So let's talk about Operation Deep Clean. I like to do a deep clean of my holding tank at least twice a year, one of which will typically coincide with my fall layup if the boat is to be winterized. My deep clean process is as follows. 1, pump the holding tank. And if you're not familiar with or you haven't done much holding tank pump outs, we'll talk about the correct procedure for that in a moment. 2, mix 2 cups of Calgon water softener in 1 gallon of hot water. Then pump it into the tank. You can pump it into the holding tank through the head. Add 1 cup of biodegradable, bleach-free liquid laundry detergent into a gallon of hot water. Then pump it into the holding tank as well. Once you get these in the holding tank, let it sit for several hours or overnight. Then the following day when you come to your boat, top off the tank with fresh water and then let it sit a couple hours again. Then pump out the tank. When you're at the pump out station, it also helps to take their fresh water. They'll typically have a fresh water hose there. Add plenty of fresh water to that right after the pump out and then immediately pump that out as well. The above procedures work well for a mid-sized holding tank of around 20 gallons or so, but it can be modified as needed for larger or smaller capacity holding tanks. Shocking the tank. If you want to shock the tank using chemicals, that's easy and straightforward as well. Simply purchase one of the many holding tank shock treatments available on the market, add it to the holding tank per the manufacturer's instructions, and then let it slosh around for 3 or 4 days to a week, depending on the shock treatment directions, and then pump it out as normal. If you're doing this as part of your winterization process, I like to put it in the holding tank about a week prior to the final pump out of the season, which gives it plenty of time to slosh around and do its job. If you're heading out for a final day on the water before winterization, add a couple of buckets of ice to the holding tank after shocking via the access port, assuming you have one, and let it scour the tank during the trip. Once you're back at the dock, pump out the tank and do a final rinse with fresh water. Fill the whole tank about half full, and then pump that out as well. This not only helps with scale buildup, but also ensures a clean last pump out of the season prior to storage. A couple of things you don't want to do. One, never shock your tank using chemicals not specifically designed for it, such as residential style toilet drain cleaners and decloggers. You also have to know the material your holding tank is constructed of and choose compatible shock treatment chemicals to avoid any adverse reaction or damage to the tank. Now we're going to talk about getting down and dirty, the manual cleaning option. While it's not the easiest or most enjoyable option, manually cleaning your holding tank does provide verifiable, if odoriferous, results. While the specific cleaning steps will be determined by your particular installation, the basic steps are empty the holding tank, flush it with fresh water, remove the tank access plate, and then clean the inside by spraying it with a high-pressure hose. After accessing the tank, you can also spray a suitable cleaner inside and let it sit for a while prior to spraying with the hose. A disposable stick will also help you, dislodge stubborn areas of resident urge. You got the stick, if you can reach it in there and you kind of, knock the solidified stuff loose to help, speed up the process and improve the cleaning itself. No bones about it, manually cleaning a holding tank is some nasty business. So in addition to keeping your mouth closed, good advice in a lot of situations, while you're doing the cleaning, do yourself a favor and follow these other cleaning tips. Number one, provide adequate ventilation. If possible, clean your tank outside. In other words, you've got a small holding tank that you need to clean. If you can take it outside, remove it and take it outside and clean it out on the dock or at home or wherever, it's a lot cleaner and it's a lot easier, and you're not inside this small space trying to clean the holding tank. Number two, always wear appropriate protective equipment such as a raincoat, rubber gloves, goggles, and preferably a face shield. Number three, always follow the manufacturer's guidelines when using tools or chemicals. And finally, number four, always be aware of what you're doing and use common sense. I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and if you did and you found it useful, we'd appreciate you becoming a subscriber and supporting the channel. If interested, please click on the subscriber link below.